The resilience of learners is considered to be one of the most important factors for the smooth progress of learning, especially in the context of basic education. So, after having explored the aspects that make a person resilient, let's have a look at the principles, methods, and activities that you can implement to make your learning setting a supportive one. Emotional safety is key. Always keep in mind that when learning is the goal, emotional safety is a necessary condition. Check in with your students and ask them if everything is going fine. This simple question could spark a dialogue and provide necessary information to meet your learners' needs. Create a non-judgmental and trusting relationship with your learners. By trusting you and knowing that you have empathy towards them, they will be more motivated to engage in the activities and in the long term to not drop out. Provide positive feedback. Focus on your learners' strengths and good attainment rather than on their deficiencies. Acknowledge and compliment their effort to show up for learning and their power to move forward. Create room for self-empowerment. Support your learners to develop their level of control in their lives by encouraging them when they make positive choices. Include activities that could help them find their inner strengths and personal resources. Enable learners to feel as the co-owners of the space. Allow them to choose their own level of participation in the classroom and give them permission to be less than completely involved in all class activities. Offer content and activities that allow them to share as much or as little as they want. Let them know that they are invited rather than obliged to do so. Let them learn at their own pace. One of the critical issues in basic education is the fragmented attendance of the learners. It is difficult for educational programs to be flexible to the needs of students affected by stress and trauma. However, try to give them the time off when they need it, because it is valuable for their recovery. Establish the connection between them. Enable them to respect, understand, and accept others. It will not only enhance their self-esteem, they will also gain the confidence to ask for help when they need it and to stand up and find solutions. Avoid educational methods that cause distress. Adjust your educational methods by avoiding diagnostic classifying tests or competitive methods. Instead, create a culture of collaboration, e.g. by setting up ground rules together. Include storytelling. Introduce narrative techniques such as journal writing or documenting experiences through photographs, poetry, or songs. In this way, learners engage in something creatively and reconstruct positive emotions. Now, these suggestions can be applied to most learners in basic education. However, if you are dealing with traumatized learners, an even more sensitive approach might be necessary. However, do not assume. Not all adults in basic education suffer from trauma, but also it is not necessary to know who among your learners has experienced abuse. But keep in mind that certain topics generally discussed in adult classes, like family or health, can cause discomfort because of past or present abuse. Prepare for significant anniversaries. Certain dates or times of year might bring back memories of traumatic experiences to some students. Keep these in mind to check with your learners or search for signs of them needing additional support. When your learners are traumatized, it is very important to not assume that they should and will get over it. Avoid romanticizing trauma narratives. Ensure your lesson content does not depict trauma as romantic or desirable. It is important not to compartmentalize violence or to frame trauma as a medical issue, but rather to understand its many forms. Reach out to the community. Learn about the appropriate laws and resources. Know the support systems of counsellors, social services, shelters and healthcare so you can refer any learner in need. You don't need to be a counsellor yourself, but it can be helpful to be aware of appropriate services and be able to explain how the services work. You could, for example, create a class activity using the language and communication skills needed to call a hotline and ask for assistance.